Hi and welcome to another AVIDEngage video. My name is Marita, I'm the Victorian Community Development Officer and I'm here with Sean McCuckin from Dulux to take you through another how-to video.
Marita, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So today what are we talking about?
Today we're going to talk in this video about how to paint a wall. So interior walls, probably the most common painted surface in a house.
Right. And what are your tips for, getting started and getting the best finish?
So if this is an overall paint project, we're hopefully already finished the ceiling and we're starting to work our way down in a sequential order, and next up is our walls. So we want to make sure that we've got all the right preparation products. So that includes our drop sheets, our masking tape to be able to tape up above our cornices, a good quality paintbrush, the appropriate roller for our walls, similar to a roller that you would use for the ceiling, just a regular matte finish there. And then we want to make sure we have a ladder if we need it to be able to reach up under the cornice line so we can cut in there, and our sugar soap and bucket and mop to be able to clean down those walls.
Great, okay, so take us through the step-by-step guide.
Before we start painting, we need to select a particular product that we want to use. So we might have already chosen the colour, but there's many different paints that we can use for our walls. So over here we have our wash and wear range of products. The one here in the orange can is a low sheen finish. So that sheen level is very, very popular. It's very scrubbable and stain resistant. However, these days people are trending more towards a matte finish. You can see in the blue can here.
Right.
A lot of finishes, be it on your tapware or your cupboards, a matte finish, and our paints are sort of following that trend in the market. The other good thing about our matte finish, if you have a big long hallway or a big corridor with a lot of light glancing down it, it can help to cover or hide any of those surface imperfections. We also have this one here, which is my personal favourite, the Ultra Air product.
Right.
And Ultra Air is low chemical emissions and very, very low odour. So if you're wanting to paint in your house and continue living in it, so sleeping in the bedroom that night or going back to busy family life, this is the product for you. You'll be able to paint it through the day, very, very low odour. You won't even know that you've painted the walls.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so we've got our colours, we've got our paint selection. What's next? Absolutely.
So we get our paint roller trays out, we've got our roller, we've got our roller cage frame, and we start dipping into the paint. And what we want to make sure we do is we work nice and evenly across the wall, keeping a wet edge. And the wet edge is between where we cut in around the outsides, like a frame, cut in with our paintbrush, and then roll as we go. We want to maintain that wet edge so we don't get those overlap lines.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's very important. So we would cut in a section along the side, along the top and along the bottom, and I'd say once we got about maybe 3 metres along the wall, we'd put our brush down, pick up our roller, and very much easier if you have one of those extension rollers on the pole so that you're not bending and dipping and reaching. Get one of those, ergonomically friendly. And then we want to be rolling up and down across the rock and fill in that 3 metre gap, pick up our brush, cut in and keep moving around the room that way.
Okay, so is there a tip to how you're meant to roll on the wall?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we've got our product loaded up on the roller, the first step is getting it onto the substrate. So some people like to paint a W and then fill in the gaps. That is very important, but that's just getting the wet paint from the tin or from the tray up onto the wall. The important part is at the end of it, once you've got the wet product all spread out on the wall over that 3 metre gap, is that we want to lay off.
Okay, and what does that mean?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask me that. So the laying off is making sure that we use the roller to get a nice even coverage and pattern on the wall when we come back across it. So we're going to go back over that 3 or 4 metre section and we're going to go in a downward manner, nice and slowly across it, not putting too much pressure on to take the paint off, but just spreading it out and making sure it's nice and even. That is laying off, and then we finish the rest of the walls.
Okay. And so once we've actually painted our walls, what are the next steps?
We've got one coat on the walls and we're ready to go for our second coat after about 2 hours of drying, typically with our water-based products. So we grab our wax paper, beeswax paper here. We don't want to be using plastic and throwing that around. So this wax paper is fantastic. That keeps the roller and the brushes from drying out. And when we're ready for the second coat, in about 2 hours time, we can just unwrap them, rinse out our beeswax wraps and start painting.
Once we get the second coat on the wall, then it's clean up time.
Yep, that's it, absolutely. So second coat goes on. These products are designed to cover and give you the colour of your choice in 2 coats. So that's it, that's the end of the painting of the walls. So we would take up any masking tape that we put down along the skirting boards or around light switches and fittings. We'd take that all off and then we can take up our drop sheets, vacuum up any of the space, and we're done.
Thank you for joining us on our tips on how to paint your walls, and we'll see you next time on AVIDEngage.